How China's BRI project could dominate the world trade. China's epic framework speculations might introduce another period of exchange and development for economies in Asia and other areas. Yet, cynics stress that China is laying an obligation for borrowing governments. So, what is BRI? Also, what will it mean for the entire world? This is how China's BRI project could dominate world trade. But hey, before going on with our video, hit that subscribe button to watch more videos like this one. Now, let's get going. Introduction to BRI. China's Belt and Road Initiative, BRI, now and again alluded to as the New Silk Road, is perhaps the most goal-oriented foundation projects at any point considered. Dispatched in 2013 by President Xi Jinping, the immense assortment of improvement and venture drives would extend from East Asia to Europe, essentially growing China's monetary and political impact. A few investigators consider the BRI to be as a disrupting augmentation of China's rising force, and as expenses of large numbers of the ventures have soared, resistance has filled in certain nations. In the meantime, the United States shares the worry of some in Asia that the BRI could be a Trojan horse for China-driven local turn of events and military extension. Under President Donald J. Trump, Washington has raised alerts over Beijing's activities. However, it has attempted to bring to the table governments in the locale to seriously engage monetary vision. What was the first Silk Road? The first Silk Road emerged during the west expansion of China's Han Dynasty, 206 BCE to 220 CE, which fashioned exchange networks all through what are today the Central Asian nations of Afghanistan, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, Turkmenistan, and Uzbekistan, just as current India and Pakistan toward the south. These courses expanded multiple thousands of miles to Europe. Focal Asia was in this manner the focal point of one of the main influxes of globalization, associating Eastern and Western business sectors, prodding tremendous riches, and intermixing social and strict customs. Important Chinese silk, flavors, jade, and different merchandise moved west, while China got gold and other valuable materials, ivory and glass items. Utilization of the course crested during the principal 1,000 years, under the administration of the first Roman and afterward Byzantine empires and the Tang dynasty 618 to 907 CE in China. Yet, the Crusades, just as advances by the Mongols in Central Asia, hosed exchange, and today, Central Asian nations are monetarily confined from one another, with intra-provincial exchange making up 6.2% of all cross-line businesses. They are traditionally vigorously reliant upon Russia, especially for settlements. They make up 33% of the GDP of Kyrgyzstan and Tajikistan. By 2018, settlements had plunged from their 2013 highs because of Russia's monetary burdens. What are China's arrangements for its new Silk Road? President Xi declared the drive during true visits to Kazakhstan and Indonesia in 2013. The arrangement was two-dimensional: the Overland Silk Road economic belt and the Maritime Silk Road. The two were on the whole alluded to first as the One Belt, One Road drive, yet in the end turned into the Belt and Road Initiative. Xi's vision included making a huge organization of rail lines, energy pipelines, expressways, and smoothed-out line intersections, both toward the west through the hilly previous Soviet republics and toward the south to Pakistan, India, and the remainder of Southeast Asia. Such an organization would extend the global utilization of Chinese money and break the bottleneck in Asian availability, as indicated by Xi. The Asian Development Bank assessed that the area faces a yearly foundation financing deficit of almost $800 billion. Notwithstanding actual framework, China intends to construct 50 unique monetary zones, displayed after the Shenzhen Special Economic Zone, which China dispatched in 1980 during its monetary changes under pioneer Deng Xiaoping. How will China's Belt and Road Initiative change the world? It's a well-known fact that China isn't content to be the producer for the world's low-end consumer merchandise, yet rather sees itself as an international adversary to the United States and the European Union on the world stage. China has utilized and will keep on utilizing the BRI to close the hole with challenging the worldwide administration of the United States and the European Union. The BRI has likewise assisted China with enormously expanding its international reach, such as China's first broad army installations were set up in Djibouti, Africa. China's endeavors, be that as it may, have been met with blended outcomes. At first, the European Union embraced a sit-back-and-watch approach, which recognized that while the BRI guarantees advancement on a worldwide scale, this improvement additionally accompanies unavoidable difficulties, which might contradict the EU plan. One day following an EU Council meeting in March 2019, in any case, the Italian government marked a memorandum of understanding with Beijing to turn into an authority individual from the BRI. Notwithstanding Italy, 13 other EU part states have consented to arrangements with Beijing since 2012. Another occurrence with Italy addresses a significant key relationship for China in Europe. Italy is the biggest EU economy to turn into an individual from the BRI. Italy is expecting to subsidize a portion of its framework projects with cash from China's banks. Nonetheless, there are worries that the new circumstances will simply add to the monetary and political strings that come appended to Chinese financing of BRI projects. At a similar time, in any case, an EU reaction without one of its most significant financial players might be fruitless against Chinese endeavors to lay down a good foundation for itself as an international force. What are the downsides? A few nations have had worries with BRI projects, which incorporate genuine objections of debasement, cushioned agreements, and a gigantic obligation load. The absolute most striking concerns are that BRI projects have experienced genuine postponements or scratch-offs, and that Chinese loaning has helpless obligation the executives and defilement. The United States has, as of late, taken more notification of the BRI and turned out to be progressively uproarious in voicing its concerns. While China's no-hidden obligation style of speculation is engaging for agricultural nations, it at the same time empowers degenerate governments to trouble their nations with unpayable obligations. For instance, Sri Lanka acquired intensely to construct another port, yet couldn't reimburse the credits, so the nation marked a 99-year rent to a Chinese organization in return for obligation help. Ventures in nations like Pakistan and Myanmar have likewise downsized extensively because of every country's obligation issues. While endeavoring to reevaluate a $23 billion BRI bargain for rail and pipeline, Malaysia dropped the undertakings by and large. Malaysia's PM alluded to BRI projects as inconsistent settlements and another form of imperialism. Most as of late, Kenya stopped a development on a force plant on a significant vacationer location island and requested a natural effect appraisal. Maybe a seriously disturbing concern notwithstanding is the potential for China to utilize BRI projects as an approach to expand its tactical presence past its lines. 31 Americans figure the drive could be an augmentation of the Chinese Communist Party's plan to subvert security endeavors on a global scale. 32, for instance, China intends to accept the executives of a port in Israel, which would imply that a U.S. Mediterranean armada couldn't approach the port when required. Conclusion. Generally because of BRI projects, Chinese development, designing, and progress producing organizations have shut the hole with their Western rivals on impression of value, and the Chinese government has shut the hole in regards to worldwide international force. In the midst of developing worries of ruthless loaning strategies and the extension of Chinese military in unfamiliar countries, notwithstanding, concerns are becoming similarly as quick as the BRI projects themselves. Regardless of whether the BRI is really inventive or is a hazardous game, remaining parts not yet clear. With that, we'd like to conclude, but we'd love to know which one of these cheating scandals has actually caught your eye. Let us know in the comments below. And also, please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more interesting content. Also, hit the bell icon button so that you'll get a notification whenever we post a new video.